All right, traders that watch this video for, let's get this right, Thursday, March 28th. There's a screenshot of the SPY. Let's go to 5-minute candles and look at that real quick. So a little pop in the morning and then just kind of fell apart slowly the rest of the day, bouncing off support and then kind of closing, I don't know, maybe somewhere close to the middle of its range, but well below its open. Anyway, I don't live and die by what the SPY does, but it's always worth looking at. Before I go into the list for tomorrow, if you haven't seen this on social media, RBZ, I got to give Wayne credit. Looked about like that when he called it, right? And you know, things are so crazy lately. Like today, I don't think I've ever seen more stocks in my life in one day halt to the upside and the same symbol halt to the downside, many more than once. It was just the weirdest day. It was, hey, what's the next low floater to run? And people would pile into them. And for lack of a better term, it was really kind of stupid. But this was a great call by Wayne. You basically had the open around 16 bucks. You know, Wayne loves those whole numbers anyway. Then it comes up and hits 16 bucks again. And then he says, hey guys, I got to leave. I got something to do this afternoon. But if I were staying, he's on the mic and he says it. This is for those of you that weren't there. If I were staying, this would be my number one watch, would be RBZ through 16. And it does this. It does this. So through 16. Oh, it didn't just do this, by the way. This is a huge move in and of itself, but then we scroll over and see what it did. From 16, it went to 38.90. So like $22 a share gain on a $16 entry. That's, again, I made a little short video and said I'll probably never get to post anything like this again, but that is a monster. It was a crazy day. Anyway, so what am I watching for tomorrow? CHFS. Now it's kind of odd that I have this on watch, but it did have a nice volume spike today. Because of this reverse split back here, it's probably pretty low float. It seems like maybe it was being deemed low float, and again, that may be the only reason this thing ran today. But I happened to notice in after hours it was trading up at 450. So I thought to myself, I'll put it on watch. I don't really like trading these, what I call this island down here. Generally, you don't get like any kind of big powerful breakout up into this gap like people think you will. But it did have kind of noticeable volume today, so I'll have it on a chart. It's not my favorite stock, and I probably won't trade it tomorrow, but you never know. SRAX, really nice volume spike and closing near its highs. Definitely want to watch that. Maybe a red to green tomorrow. Pretty sure this was lumped into this IMAC was lumped into the low floaters too. Made a monster move, and most people would say, why in the hell would you look at the stock that ran from 4 to 7 in one day? Why would you be watching that tomorrow? And I have two answers. One, it doesn't cost me anything to have it on a chart. And two, things are so stupid lately that it might give us a great low-risk setup and a massive move. So, again, I'll have it on a chart. CPAH had this pop yesterday, and then today kind of a quiet inside day, much lower volume. Sometimes you get a third-day play where it just rips again. So it goes on watch. NDRA, I had this on bounce watch for today. It didn't give any kind of entry setup, so it just goes back on watch for tomorrow. HYRE. This isn't a great chart, right? Because you had this pop, and I thought it was going to break to new highs yesterday, and then today it does this. I still want to have it on watch because Lyft is coming public on Friday, and so tomorrow's the last trading day before Lyft goes public, and HYRE might get a bid, right? It might get a narrow range for a while and then a break to the upside. It is just back down to support, right? It's really done well bouncing off this area. And so it's at support, it's at the 20-day, and there's 1 day left. So it might catch a bid tomorrow. And maybe the only reason it fell is because Dropcar, DCAR, came out with an offering. So does that mean HYRE deserves to be slapped too? I don't know. For all I know, they came out with an offering too, but I don't think they did. So I like this one much more than DCAR being down at support like that, and then with Lyft coming public on Friday. Again, these are just for potential trades. May never take a trade in it. May not give a setup. NK had a very nice pop 2 days ago, then a quiet inside day today. I took one trade in this today, but it only moved up a few pennies, and I made a few bucks on it, like enough to buy a couple sandwiches or something. But it did end up closing strong. So I like it over today's high, which is 175, with a potential catalyst of 187 or 88, a break above this high from 3 days ago. So it's a pretty good setup, and it's acting pretty well. GSVC, speaking of Lyft, I believe they have a stake in the IPO or something like that, and it closed pretty strong. It was given a really nice setup today. You kind of, you had a attempt at breaking this 810 or 811 area, then it sold off, hit it again, sold, takes out the low of day, and the next thing you know, it's right back up to that area again. It never did break this early high of 811. I loved this over 810. There was a big seller here. You have a cup and handle. You have yesterday's high above as another potential catalyst. You had the lift story, and then we got to the close, and it came up here again, and we got to the closing bell. So even if it would have triggered, I need more than 5 minutes to have a trade be able to play out. So it did not give a setup or it did not give a trade, but closing near its highs like that, I'm going to watch it. All right. And then NM, pretty strong close. It went as high as 283 and then closed at 265. Really nice volume for this stock. Pretty good looking setup for tomorrow. Again, maybe a red to green or something like that. I will say this. Be careful out there. It's choppy. It's weird. Don't get in that mood where you're going to chase something because you see other people who are claiming they got long on this stock or that stock and it tripled in a day. Although some people are getting those. But don't get FOMO. In these choppy periods, I was telling, if you weren't in chat today, I was telling the group, that this is a time to, if you're treading water, as long as you're not getting killed, as long as you're not losing money, that's the most important thing. You've got to have your capital so when things do improve and the nice setups start working again, you don't want to be digging your way out of a hole that you're digging right now. So it's important to recognize how many things are like triggering and failing or just chopping sideways all day, and then to slow your roll, right? Stop putting money to work or put much less money to work or take fewer trades until things improve. It's just a choppy market right now. It's not trading. Trading will always be profitable if you know how to find A+ setups and trade them. But when things are choppy like this, all I can say is, slow your roll a little bit. I'm hoping we catch a couple nice gap play setups tomorrow as well. Oh, if you didn't see my video too, what is it? SXTC is a great example. You always hear me say you never buy the opening minute. Now, this was on my gap play watch list, right? And how many times have you guys heard me say in chat, I never buy the opening green 1 or 2 minute candle? There are people out there, and I can't tell you how, what's the word I always use? Intoxicating it is when you see this volume pouring in. You're 1 minute into the session. You see this candle climbing and climbing and climbing, and you get excited. And it's really, really tempting to click that button and say, you know what, rules be damned. This thing's going to rip. Mike's an idiot. His rules are stupid. This is going to be at 10. And if I don't jump in now, I'm going to miss this big move. So the reason I'm pointing this particular stock out is it's the best example maybe I've ever seen for those of you who doubt why I don't trade a green opening 1 or 2 minute candle. In other words, I wait for a setup like we teach in our course, right? But this right here, best example maybe that I've ever seen. So imagine yourself buying 2,000 shares as it's ripping through 9 because you think it's going to 10, or now it's at 920 and you have FOMO and you finally can't stand it. 2,000 shares, right? If nothing else, I'll sell at 950. Whatever you're thinking. In 1 minute, you're down almost $2. So if you took 2,000 shares, you're down about $4,000. It's really something to drill this into your head. This is a great example why we never chase. Now, if you chase this, you buy 2,000 shares at 9, and then it goes to 10, and you sell it, and you make $2,000, and all of a sudden, and you're a newer trader, all of a sudden you think you know how to day trade. You made $2,000 in a minute. The next time, you'll probably go even bigger when you see a candle like this, and then you will run into one of these. Okay? The market will get, anytime there's money made because you broke a rule or you're not following any rules, you're just getting FOMO and chasing, and you make money, and all of a sudden you think you know how to trade, the market will do this to you. If you don't stay humble in this game, and if you don't play by a set of rules, I promise you, you won't be around doing this in a couple years. You have to stay humble. You have to trade off of trading rules, tried and true, and then follow them religiously. All right, that's my little spiel for today. I'm done babbling. We'll see y'all tomorrow.